Today we will discuss class 9th science chapter 9 force and laws of motion. In the previous class we have already discussed about the effects of force and the Newton's laws of motion, the three laws. Today we will discuss about momentum, impulse, and how uh, the momentum be conserved during collision. First, we'll revise the laws of motion. First, Newton's first law of motion. Everybody continues in its states of rest or of uniform motion unless and until an external force acts on it. If no external force acts on any object, the rest body remains in rest and moving body remains in uniform motion. The body will move uniformly with the same speed, same velocity. Second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force in the direction of force. When force is applied on a body, when the body is in motion and force is applied, this applied force is directly proportional to the rate of change of its momentum. The rate of change of momentum of the body is directly proportional to the applied force. That force becomes equal to ma, that is product of mass and acceleration. This second law of motion. And third law of motion, Newton's third law of motion is to every action there is an equivalent opposite reaction. If a body A acts on body B, the force applied by body A on body B and the force applied by body A on body B, they both will equal in their magnitude, but the direction of both the forces are opposite to each other. If FAB is positive, then FBA considered as negative. That means the direction of the force applied by A on B is opposite to the direction of force applied by body B on body A. It is third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion is to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Next, we'll discuss about momentum. Momentum means the amount of motion which is contained in a body is called the momentum of that body. How much motion is present in a body? When a body is in motion or in rest, then we consider some amount of motion is there in moving body. But when the body is in rest, no motion is there. In that case, the momentum is considered as zero. According to the amount of motion, that means according to the momentum that is contained in body, the body shows the momentum, that much work will be done by that body. So this momentum becomes equal to m into t, mass into velocity. Momentum is the product of mass and velocity. If velocity becomes zero, if v is zero, the velocity becomes zero when the body is in rest. That's why we say if we consider rest body, the momentum is zero. If velocity is zero, then momentum becomes m into zero, that is zero. For every stationary object, the momentum is 0. But when the body is in motion, the velocity of the body will not be 0 there. So we must get some momentum of that body. But mass never be 0. So momentum becomes 0 only if the velocity is 0. That means when the body is in rest, then the momentum becomes 0. Otherwise, every body which is in motion must contain some momentum, must possess some momentum. Next, this momentum depends upon mass and velocity. Momentum is directly proportional to mass and momentum is directly proportional to velocity. Directly proportional. Momentum is directly proportional to mass. That means when mass increases, then momentum increases. If mass decreases, then momentum decreases. Momentum and mass are directly proportional. If one of the quantity increases, other will also increase. Similarly, momentum is directly proportional to velocity. If velocity increase, then momentum will increase. If velocity decrease, momentum will decrease. So this momentum will increase by increasing of mass and also by increasing of velocity. Any one of them will increase, then momentum will increase there. If mass becomes double, then momentum becomes double. If velocity becomes double, momentum becomes double. If both will double, then momentum will increase by 4 times. Next, conservation of momentum. Law of conservation of momentum. It states that the momentum of a system of 2 or more particles before and after the collision, it remains same. The total momentum remains same before or after the collision between 2 particles or 2 bodies. When 2 bodies come in contact, when the bodies are moving in this direction, and when they collide each other, and when after the collision of the bodies, here body A, body B, here body A and body B, body A and body B. It is before collision, during collision and after collision. Total momentum before collision, the momentum total momentum before collision, total momentum during collision, and total momentum after the collision. Yeah, total momentum before collision of the bodies A and B. Total momentum during collision of body A and B, and total momentum after collision of body A and B. They all will equal. So whenever 2 bodies collide each other, then the total momentum in that system remains constant. Here we can write m1 u1 plus m2 u2 becomes equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. m1 u1 plus m2 u2 becomes equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. This statement shows the total momentum before collision remains equal to the total momentum after the collision. This m1 u1 is the momentum of body A and m1 m2 u2 is momentum of body B before collision. This case is before collision because when the body A and body B are moving with initial velocity u1 and u2, then after collision the velocity changes into v1 and v2. Let the mass of body A is m1, body B is m2. Here mass of body A is m1 and B is m2. The momentum of body A here, momentum is mass into velocity, that is m1 u1. Here momentum of this body B is m2 u2. Here momentum of body A after collision m1 u1 and momentum of body B after collision is m2 v2. Momentum is product of mass and velocity. Mass is m1, velocity is u1, so momentum is m1 u1. Similarly, for body B, mass is m2, velocity is u2, so momentum is m2 u2. After collision, when the velocity changes, velocity will change because when body A and body B collide each other, then body A exerts some force on body B and body B also exerts some force on body A according to Newton's third law of motion. Whenever two objects come in contact, when they collide, one body applies some force on another body, and the same time the body B also exerts equal amount of force but in opposite direction to the first body. In that case, A exerts some force on B and B also exerts some force on A. That's why the velocity of both the body A and body B will change. After changing the velocity for body A, the u1 changes into v1. It is initial velocity, this one is final velocity. Similarly, for body B, the initial velocity is u2 and the final velocity is v2. Here, momentum is mass into velocity m1 into v1. Here, momentum is m2 into v2, that m2 v2. In this case, the total momentum of the body for body A m1 u1, for body B m2 u2, total momentum will be m1 u1 plus m2 u2. Here total momentum of body after the collision is sum of which two momentum, m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Here m1 u1 plus m2 u2 and m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So according to the law of conservation of momentum, total momentum before collision and total momentum after collision remains same. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2 becomes equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Next we will discuss one example here. A car starts from rest and accelerates uniformly per 10 seconds. To attain a velocity of 20 meters per second, if mass of the car is 800, find the force exerted by the car. Here, the question is, a car starts from rest. A car is there, which mass is given as 800 kg. The car is starting from rest. The car is starting from rest means the car is in stationary. The car was in stationary position. The initial velocity of the car was 0, and the car accelerates uniformly for 10 seconds. The time is given as 10 seconds, and in this 10 seconds, the car accelerates uniformly and finally it got a velocity of 20 meters per second. Initial velocity of the car is 0 because the car starts from rest. Initial velocity is 0. Starts from rest, that means u is 0. Here u is 0. Initial velocity is 0 and accelerates uniformly for 10 seconds. 10 seconds it is given the time. The value of t is 10 seconds. And attain a velocity of 20 meters per second. When the car accelerates, then the velocity shown by the car is 20 meters per second after this 10 seconds. That is the final velocity, 20 meters per second. Now it is given the mass of the car is 800 kg. Here the mass of car is given as 800 kg. That is m. 800 kg. We have to find the force exerted by the car. We have to find how much force is exerted by the car. F. Find F. How to find the amount of force which is exerted by the car? F is equal to, we know F is equal to ma, that is mass into acceleration. We have the value of mass, that is 800 kg, but we have not the value of acceleration. So first, if we get this acceleration, then we can put here that acceleration into mass to get the amount of force which is exerted by the car. So first we have to find the value of acceleration. How much acceleration will happen when the body started from rest will attain velocity 20 meters per second when it accelerates uniformly. So a is equal to v minus u by t. We know the formula to find the acceleration. A is equal to v minus u by t. Put the value of v here. V is 20 minus u is 0 and t is 10 seconds. 20 minus 0 is 20 by 10 is 2 meter per second square. It is meter per second, it is second, it is meter per second square. The value of A is 2 meter per second square. Now we can find F, mass into acceleration. Here the unit of acceleration is in meter per second square and mass is 800 kg. M 800 kg, acceleration 2 meter per second square is equal to 800 into 2 is 1600 kg meter per second square. Here kg meter per second square is said to be Newton. So we can write that 1600 Newton. So 1600 Newton force will be exerted by this car. Let's discuss one more example here. A ball is falling freely from a tower. Of height 5 meters. How much momentum does it transfer to the floor? If its mass is 500 gram, if G is 10 meter per second square, here the question: a ball is falling freely from a tower. A ball is falling freely from a tower. First, the ball was on the tower and then it starts to fall. That means the ball was in rest position on the tower. So initial velocity of that ball is 0 and the height of the tower is 5 meters. That means the ball travels 5 meters to reach the floor here. The distance travelled by the ball is 5 meters. The height of tower becomes equal to the distance travelled by the ball from the top of the tower to the floor. So, height of tower is considered as the distance travelled by the ball. We have to find the momentum. How much momentum the ball will transfer to the floor when it hits the floor. When the ball comes towards the floor and hits the floor, then some momentum will be transferred from ball to the floor. We have to find how much momentum is transferred here. Next, it is given the mass of the ball is 500 gram and it is given G, that is the acceleration due to gravity. The acceleration which will be shown by the ball when it travels from the tower to the floor. This acceleration of the ball becomes equal to the acceleration due to gravity, because this acceleration happens due to gravity of the earth. So this acceleration due to gravity is taken as G. that is given as 10 meter per second square. Since it is in the direction of gravitational force, the value of G will be positive. We have to solve. First, we have to write the data what is given in the question. The initial velocity of the ball is G. Since the ball was in rest on the tower, the initial velocity is 0. Next, the distance travelled by the body equal to the height of the tower, that is S. Distance travelled by the ball S is 5 meter. Next, it is given 500 gram as the mass of the ball. M 500 gram. The distance given in meter and the mass is given in gram. We have to convert this mass into kg. 500 gram becomes equal to 500 by 1000, which is equal to 0.5 kg. The mass of the ball becomes equal to 0.5 kg. We have to find the momentum. We have to find momentum, which is equal to mass into velocity. Mass of the body and velocity. It is already given. The mass of the body is 0.5 kg, but we have not the value of final velocity. This velocity is final velocity. Final velocity means the velocity which is attained by the ball when it hits the floor. At that time, it is just before the hitting the floor. That velocity is considered here, and this velocity should be found before putting here, because not given in our question. B. First, we have to find the value of B. We know the relation B square minus A square is equal to 2AS. We know here B square minus A square is equal to 2AS according to the laws of equation. B square minus A square is equal to 2AS. Equation of motion. According to the equation of motion, B square minus A square is equal to 2AS. We already learned in chapter that motion chapter. So already learned that B square minus A square is 2AS. Now we put B square minus B square is 0 is equal to 2 into A. A becomes equal to the acceleration due to gravity, that is 10, and S is 5. So B square is 2 into 5, 10 into 10, 100. This implies V is equal to 10 meter per second. This velocity becomes equal to 10 meter per second. Now we will find the momentum. The amount of momentum transferred to the floor is equal to mass into velocity, which is equal to mass is 0.5 kg, velocity is 10 meter per second. This is equal to 5 kg meter per second. 5 kg meter per second amount of momentum will be transferred from the ball to the floor